Well, I got loads of these pasta shapes that I had from a project I did a long time ago. And you got all sorts of things. You got elephants, you got lions, you got giraffes and things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out some really good ones where they're quite flat and also where they've not got any faults in them. And I'm going to see if we can turn them into some fun open back bezels for, I love the turtle, for resin. I think they'd be fun, and I think kids would love these. I think adults would love them as well, because I know I would. But some get broken, so that's why I'm picking out the best ones. Now I've picked out the ones that I've decided I think will make great bezels. What I'm going to do is prep them, because I don't actually want them to be the pasta colour, although I think that that wouldn't be a problem. Actually, let's do some that will be the pasta colour as well. So we'll do that one. Lion, turtle. So to change the ones that I'm going to change from a pasta colour, all I'm going to be doing is going over them with these brilliant chrome markers. And that'll change those colours really well. I don't need to do the inside. I'm not too worried about the inside colour, but I will do the edges of them. And it paints on lovely. You probably only need one coat, look, and let that dry. And then we can go on with the next bit. Well, I've painted all those now, and all I've got to do is wait for them to dry. I'll let them dry for a couple of hours to make sure they're fully dry before I test out the next stage. I think they've come out really cute. Well, these are all nice and dry now. I think they look great with that chrome marker on. And they're very solidly dry now, so it allows us to be able to do the resin work that we want to do. So for any open bezel, what you need to do is put these on some backing tape. Now I'm going to be using this extra wide backing tape. This is also a heat resistant tape as well that I got from J Diction. You don't need a massive bit. All you need to do is cut enough off that will allow you to put these down on it. If this backing tape takes any of that polish, any of this paint off, I'm not sure if it will or not, then we can still re-put that paint on. So all I'm going to do is put that on and then rub my fingers across it like that to ensure that it's attached everywhere, because these aren't completely flat. They should now be attached to this backing tape. I always get some sort of leak. Well, not always, but sometimes, so don't worry if you do. And what I'm going to do is use these UV resins by J Diction as well. You get 8 colours in the pack, and I love them. And I think this is going to be the quickest and easiest way to fill these up. So I just need to choose my colours, and obviously I'm going to go for different colours. I'm not going to try and stick with the colours that actually are the animals, because I think that would be impossible for me. I'm going to do a yellow for the lion, and if you've got bits that are a little bit too thick to put this in, that back leg is probably a little bit thin. All I'm going to do is pour a little bit on there like that, take a micro brush with the top removed from it, scoop some of that off, and then let that drip into it, and that should find its own level to there and go in it, fill that up. And I'm not in anywhere where there's UV light coming in, so I don't have to worry about this curing up quickly. Now if there's any bubbles in there, just bring them to the top. Once you're happy with how far it's filled, you can then cure it up. Who'd have thought you could make jewellery out of pasta, or make bezels out of pasta? And then the main head I'm going to do in a red, just as a little bit of a contrast. I love these UV resin. So now we've got that filled up, we can cure that. That one has leaked a little bit, so I will see about pushing them a little bit firmer onto the damming tape. So I've got those two filled now, and this one nearly filled. I found a much easier way of doing it. As you can see, I've done the elephant's pink, because there is no pink in the actual resin colours. But you can make the pink easily. All these colours will blend together. So if you want to make different colours, you can. So all you need to do, a bit of red and white there, a little bit of a micro brush without the tip on it, stir that in, and you've got a lovely pink. And I want pink elephants. And I've also discovered that the easiest way to fill these and get them cured is to put a little bit in the bottom first, like this, small bit, in all your holes. Make sure it's covering the bottom, and then cure that up for about 30 seconds, and that creates a brilliant seal on there. I'm using the J Diction lamp. It is a great lamp. Remember, don't shine these UV lights in your eyes, because all UV light can be damaging to your eyes. I know a lot of people use mirrors, and I use them as well, but if you are, use some UV protective glasses, because long-term exposure to UV light can be damaging to your eyes. There's just a little warning there. I want to keep you safe. So that should be long enough. That'll have cured up enough now for it not to leak. And now I can go ahead and fill it up completely and then cure it up. And that's exactly what I've done with the turtle. And it worked really, really well. And I did promise I'd do some without the paint on them, so you could see what they look like if you don't have any of those chrome markers. I'm really into the chrome markers at the moment. It's just, they're really appealing to me. I'm doing a lot of projects using them because I love the effect that they get with them. I've over poured a little bit on this one. I'm just going to go in there and scrape that off a little. And now cure that up for the 3 minutes. So they're cured up lovely. Now with the giraffe, what I want to do is add some little bits onto it so it looks more giraffe-like. And I'm going to be using, I don't know, I think the red. So all I'm going to do is pop a little bit down on there like that. Again, take my little brush like that, put a few bits of different colour over it, and then cure that up. The other thing is, if you're finding your UV lamp isn't curing like it used to, it might be because it's actually getting to the end of its life, because they only have a certain amount of time that they'll produce good quality UV light to cure up UV resin. And so if it's not curing up, it's probably time to replace it. I found the J. Dixon one, this one, I've probably had this now about 18 months, and I use it a lot, and it still cures up lovely. And the really cheap ones, the little cheap ones, I go through those really quickly when I used to use those, and they would stop curing up my resin very well. So there's another little tip for you. So I'm going to let that cure up. Then I'm going to finish off these ones here with the metallic paint. They're cured up lovely now. I'm going to finish off these and then show you how to turn them into little bits of jewellery, earrings and things. Well, these have all cured now, and only the one of them I really had a leak. Some of them I spilt, but that's because of my tremor. So let's take a look at them. They should come off okay. Now, I'm not going to bother too much with this. I might be able to break that UV resin out where I had a leak. Yeah, it does kind of break off the pasta without breaking the pasta. Oh, so that's not too bad, look. I quite like the ones in the pasta without the colour on. But I think the ones with the colour on are my favourite. And that colour has worked really well. I think the lion ones are so cute. And the giraffes. Now I've got them all filled, I can turn them over to check that they're okay. If there's any bits that are missing, then I can fill them in, or I can leave them. It really doesn't matter either way. But there is a bit of white missing on there, so I'm going to fill that in. And then I've got one more thing I want to do to them before I turn them into jewellery. The last thing I'm going to go and do to these is give them a slight dome using this high viscosity UV resin. I'm only going to dome one side, because it looks nice when one side has been domed. If you want to dome both sides, then go for it. Because this is a nice high viscosity resin, it should stay exactly where you've put it. Because I've got a nice big lamp, what I can do is cure these all up in one go. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Bit more in that one, I think. Run over that with a long neck lighter, burst any bubbles, and now we can cure them up. Well, these are all cured now, and I think they're ready to be turned into jewellery. What I'm going to be using is these little screw-in hooks. I think these are great for this sort of thing, but we need to make a hole in them because I don't want to screw them directly into them, because what might happen is it might crack and split. So what I'm going to be using is my Dremel with a small bit inside it, and then drill a hole through the pasta into it like that, and then I can set them in. So now all we need to do is take the corresponding colour hook eye and put it in there. Now, to make these extra safe, what I like to use is a tiny bit of 5-minute epoxy on the little hook eye or screw eye or whatever it's called. I will link them all in the description below. Big thank you to everyone that got me a coffee last month. I really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much a difference it makes and allows me to keep making these videos on this channel. Thank you very much. Your names are all coming up on the board now. So you don't need much 5-minute epoxy. All I'm going to do, I have to get some more of this soon, I think, is put equal amounts of this together on the mat. There we go. Combine those together. Far more than what we need, but I'd rather have more than have to stop again and make some. There we go. Take a gold piece like this, dip it in, just the screw end, all I need to do, and then I can screw that in around and have that in there, and then that is not going to go anywhere at all. You can also add some little embellishments to this as well, which I'll show you in a second once I've got all these screws in. And now we've got these made up with these little hooks in, it's really simple to finish them off. I just take a gold jump ring, pop it through there like that, and then you can put your necklace cord through it. And if you want to bling them up a little bit, all you need to do is add an extra one of these little charms through them. And oh, I've got so many of different ones of these. It's unbelievable. You'd never believe how many I've got. I put them on my earrings and pendants quite a lot because it lifts them up and you can sell them for a little bit more money. And then you just pop your chain through it like that. And then you've got a nice little pendant. And to make them into earrings, I would take a matching set like this and do exactly the same thing and then add an earring back to them. And this is what they look like on. And I think I look really pretty in them. And they've come out very, very well. I love the little turtles. And actually, I don't think they're childish at all. I think they're just fun and have come out much better than I thought. As well as the pendant, I think that looks cute too. They were so easy to make. I wouldn't have been able to get that shape bezel from anywhere else or that size. And there's loads of different shapes that you can get made out of pasta, which is always a bonus, and it's really cheap as well. But it gives a great result. Great combination of items. Boo that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comments what you think and if you're going to have a go. Check out the video that I've got coming up next. I think you'll really like that one as well. But most of all, take care and enjoy your resin. Bye. I think they really suit me with my very grey beard.